In this video, we're going to look at a simple interest problem. Identify the givens and the goals in each problem and write your final answers as complete sentences. So Trey wants to invest $4,400 in a savings account that pays 7% simple interest. Okay, so I see the question is coming, so that's going to be a goal. How long will it take for this investment? And this to double in value is actually given information, to double in value. Okay, so it's cryptically put in the question. Okay, and we're also asked what percent of the original amount is the interest, and we're going to round to the nearest tenth. Okay, so let's first write our given information using the letters for the simple interest formulas. So the initial investment, we use capital P for principal, is $4,400. Okay. We're given the simple interest rate, little r, as a decimal, that's 0.07. Okay. Now we have the goal, and we also have this extra piece of information that's given in this sentence. So first, let's read this sentence completely to understand it. How long will it take? So that's time. So that means we're going to solve for time. We're not given time. So I'm just going to put a question mark here, since we can note that from this part of the goal statement, for this investment to double in value. Okay, so we want to know when the end amount, which we call A, will be double the original amount, which is 2 times the principal, or $8,800. Okay, so we're given the end amount, just not directly. It's not written as 8,800. We have to interpret that double in value means 2 times the original investment. Okay, so now let's look at our formulas. We want the one that's solved for t. Okay, so looking on the left-hand side, this formula has t isolated by itself. So time is the amount divided by the principal minus 1, all divided by the interest rate. So let's write that formula. T equals A divided by P minus 1 all over R. Okay, so this is how we might write it as a fraction. And I'm going to put parentheses in the numerator. Okay, another way to write this where it looks less like directly like a fraction, we can just use division for this fraction bar. Okay, so let's put in the values we know. So we have 8,800 for A divided by P, which is 4,400. We subtract 1 and divide by the interest rate, which is 0.07. Now let's put this in the calculator. So parentheses, 8,800 divided by 4,400 minus 1, close parentheses, divided by 0.07 gives us 14, set to round to the nearest tenth, so we would round to 14.3 years. So our answer as a complete sentence is it will take 14.3 years for the investment to double. Now let's look at the second part. Let's write this complete sentence and solve as we solve percents. So what percent of the original amount is the interest? Okay. So note, it says what percent, so that means we're solving for the percent of the original amount. So that means the original amount is after the word of, so this is going to be our whole. Okay, and our original amount is always the principal, which is $4,400. And our other comparative amount in the numerator is the interest, which we actually haven't found yet. So since we know the amount and the principal, the easiest way to find the interest is to find amount minus principal, which is $8,800 minus $4,400. So the interest is $4,400. Okay. So notice these two numbers match up. Okay. So remember, we wanted the principal to double to the future amount. So that means we'd add another $4,400. So the original amount plus the interest, these are equal, and it totals the end amount. Okay, and any number is 100% of itself, but let's use the fancy math to write this out. Okay, so we're going to take the interest goes in the numerator. Let's write this out since it's not as clear since the numbers are the same. So we find the interest divided by the principal times 100. In this case, they're both $4,400. Now we could put this in the calculator, but anything divided by itself is 1. And 1 times 100 is 100%. Okay, so the return on this investment, if it doubles, is 100%. Okay, so remember, this is like a percent change. Okay, the end amount is 200% in total. Okay, but the change from $4,400 to $8,800 is 100% of the original. So let's write our final answer. 100, or the interest is, sorry. The interest is 100% of the original amount.